What's up, and welcome to the first iteration of my full Rosalina and Luma matchup guide. In this video, I'll rate how difficult each matchup is, give a brief summary of how it plays, and provide any relevant tips that I could think of. And before we get started, please keep in mind that the difficulty of each matchup is just my opinion. If you think differently or have any useful info that I wasn't able to cover in this video, please leave a comment down below, as I'd like for all of us Rosa players to learn from each other and push our characters meta. Lastly, this video will be much longer than my usual guides and is packed with info, so I highly recommend saving it to a playlist so you can revisit it later if ever needed. And without further ado, let's dive right in. Banjo and Kazooie, even. He can suppress Luma in neutral, but we have the tools to deal with his projectiles and can outspace his attacks up close. In general, you shouldn't keep Luma detethered, as his eggs can outrange Starbits and can lock Luma in hit stun. When tethered, Luma can be used to body block his eggs, but can't block the rapid fire ones if hit by the first strong egg. To deal with his projectiles, short hop and quickly use a turnaround gravitational pull. This way you can still lunar land with back air. Keep in mind that gravitational pull adds a second to his grenade's timer, allowing you to always be able to safely throw it back. Avoid being too predictable when using Starbits in neutral, as using them around the same time that he uses Wonder Wing can get you punished. When he's above you, you actually need to respect his down air, as it beats our up air when we're directly below him. If he ever grabs you and goes for a down throw, remember you can desync a rapid jab or tilt to prevent being hit. When he's off stage, keep in mind that his up special doesn't have a hitbox, so if he's below the ledge, you can drop Luma off stage to edgeguard. Bayonetta, +1. This matchup may seem tough at first, but it gets a lot easier if you rely on Starbits to zone her out in neutral while denying her approaches and forcing her into the air. If she tries to approach with a downward angled afterburner, you can punish it out of shield with a full hop up air. And if she ever hits your shield with a regular afterburner, you can punish her with any aerial other than down air. If she ever tries to approach with a heel slide, quickly shield. Keep in mind that if she makes contact with your shield first, she can't use a follow-up attack and can be grabbed or up smashed out of shield. However, she can still use her follow-up kick if she makes contact with Luma first, and can cross up your shield if used close by. Either way, she can be punished out of shield. When you're at high percent, be careful when attacking with Luma, as witch time can be triggered by Luma's attacks and potentially give her a free smash attack. If you're ever recovering off stage and she charges her neutral special, keep in mind that you can use gravitational pull to absorb every bullet if you have tight timing. Bowser, even. Although he can live to much higher percentages than us, he can struggle to approach us in neutral. Always be prepared to react to an approach with Flame Breath, as it can deal a ton of damage to you or Luma. One way you can deal with this move is to use gravitational pull, then buffer a jump or short hop aerial to punish him. In neutral, you can rely on Luma Shot, Starbits, and attack cancels to all tack on damage while staying safe. If he's ever above you, keep in mind that you don't need to respect his down air or down special, as they're both outranged by Rose's up air. In general, try to avoid landing with Nair against him, as his up special hits out of shield faster than our up tilt. Specifically when against Bowser, try to avoid using rapid jab or setting up a spin trap, as he ignores the hit stun of both Rosa's and Luma's rapid jabs. Overall, it's a good idea to play keep away until you can safely find an opening with a grab, then keep him in disadvantage. When he's off stage, you can either challenge his up special with a down air or try to get below him and double jump fair. Bowser Jr., +1. Gravitational pull makes his cannonball irrelevant in neutral, and his Mecha Koopa risky to use, as we can easily steal it. In addition, he can have a lot of trouble dealing with Starbits in neutral. If he ever tries to approach with a side special, you can cancel either a dash attack or a down tilt into a Nair, and drift away to punish him whether he skids out or not, while still being safe from any aerials if he chooses to jump instead. Keep in mind that his Nair is safe on shield when timed properly. Because he doesn't have a hitbox at the beginning of his up special, you can drop Luma off stage to edgeguard. Byleth, even. This is a unique matchup that relies heavily on mid-range positioning and spacing. When you're at far range, it's often better to jump over arrows instead of using gravitational pull to avoid being baited into using such a committal move. If they charge an arrow around mid to far range while you have Luma tethered, walk toward them and be ready to punish a jump. If they commit to shooting the arrow, Luma will block it, allowing you to punish. It can be difficult to utilize Luma detethered in neutral, but it can be done if you're ready to clank with Byleth's disjoints and arrows, and reposition Luma to avoid Nair, which can beat Luma's attacks. You should stay grounded and try to stay slightly out of Byleth's range and patiently react to what they do. They actually need to make the first move at this range, because you can still harass them with Starbits. If they ever whiff an attack, try to dash in and get aggressive with a Dak Nair or a grab. Your goal should always be to get Byleth off stage, where you can abuse their tether recovery by dropping Luma off stage to edgeguard. Captain Falcon, +1. Although he has combos and kill power, we have the advantage in neutral and offstage. In neutral, he can have trouble dealing with Luma, Luma Shot, and Starbits, so try to play keep away and use attack cancels at close range to attack while keeping Rosa safe. Falcon can also have a lot of trouble getting past either a forward or down tilt cancelled Nair in neutral, as they can clank with Falcon Kick, which gives Rosa a punish, and they can beat or at least trigger Raptor Boost for Rosa to punish. If he ever hits your shield with Nair, don't always try to punish it, as it's safe when timed properly. Because Captain Falcon doesn't have an active hitbox on his up special, you can drop Luma off stage to edgeguard him. Chrom, -1. His attacks come out a bit faster than ours and can all be safe on shield. However, he needs to approach us due to Starbits. And because he's the one who has to approach, you should be patient and play a bait and punish style by staying mobile and putting extra focus on staying right outside of his range. A common approach for him is to jump in with a forward air, and if that's shielded, follow up with a jab, which often pushes you too far away to grab out of shield. However, unless his jab only hits the edge of your shield, you can still punish him with an up smash out of shield. If he's off stage, get in position to attack him the moment he reaches the peak height of his up special. Cloud, -1. His aerials are fast and safe on our shield, which makes him good at safely damaging or killing Luma. Plus, we need to initiate with at least Starbits to prevent him from charging limit for free. Cross Slash is essentially a safe mix-up on shield if he chooses not to finish the whole sequence. If he does use the final hit, you can punish him with a dash grab by dropping shield quickly enough. Keep in mind that it's not safe to use a landing Nair on his shield due to his up special. In neutral, I'd suggest keeping Luma detethered but close by so you can harass him with Starbits and punish him for hitting Luma. If he uses Blade Beam, remember that Luma's down tilt or dash attack can clank with it. When he's off stage, try to attack him before he can get close to the ledge. Otherwise, full hop and down air behind his hitbox. If you're the one off stage and he has limit, try to avoid recovering at a predictable angle, as he can cut you off with a limit cross slash. Corrin, -1. They can safely pressure our shield with aerials that create opportunities to damage or kill Luma. In neutral, I suggest playing patiently and staying mobile. Getting caught by a single Nair or Fair will likely result in either a long disadvantage state or a dead Luma. Try to play bait and punish while harassing with Starbits whenever safely possible. If Corrin is ever above you, keep in mind that you don't need to respect down air, as our up air can outrange it. If they ever use a neutral special, remember that either Rosa or Luma can clank with it despite it being fully charged. Keep in mind that when they're off stage, you can challenge their up special with any of Rosa's aerials. Diddy Kong, even. He can be tough to deal with when he's up close or in an advantage state, but we can win neutral by zoning him out with Luma and back airs, as well as hogging the banana with gravitational pull whenever possible. Keep in mind that he needs to be at least 58% before Luma's dash attack will combo into Rosa's Nair during a DAC Nair. Also keep in mind that he's too short to be hit with a short hop Nair while on the ground. When he's off stage, you can drop Luma below the ledge to knock him out of his up special. Donkey Kong, +2. Because he's such a big target and doesn't have any projectiles, he doesn't have a reliable way to approach, and due to his size and weight, we can utilize all of Luma's gimmicks effectively. Plus, Rosa's Nair can be an extra useful option when short hopping. In neutral, try to play keep away with Luma Shot, Luma, and Starbits, and at close range, retreat with attack cancels to keep Rosa safe. If he ever tries to carry you, remember you can still input a desynced aerial with Luma. When he's off stage, you can challenge his recovery with either a down air, forward air, or by dropping Luma off stage when he's below the ledge. Duck Hunt, even. Neutral game can be very annoying as we can't use gravitational pull against his down special, forcing us to jump. However, we can still use gravitational pull against the can or frisbee. In neutral, try to patiently get close and look for an opening in his projectiles to get aggressive with a DAC Nair, lunar landing, or grab. And keep in mind that Duck Hunt is too short to be hit with a short hop Nair. Because Duck Hunt's up special doesn't have a hitbox, you can drop Luma off stage to edgeguard. Falco, even. Lasers can shut down a detethered Luma, and his reflector can shut down Starbits. However, it's still tough for him to approach us in neutral due to our ground speed. Around mid-range, if you space yourself while crawling, you can let Luma take a laser hit before attacking him with a grab. DAC Nair is also a strong approach, but keep in mind that Falco needs to be at least 31% before Luma's dash attack will combo into Rosa's Nair. When he's off stage, you can interrupt his recovery moves with Luma or Starbits, and then punish the resulting up special. Fox, even. He's very fast and good at punishing whiffed attacks, although he can have a tough time getting in due to both Luma and our back air's range. In general, don't aggressively use Daknair unless you're using it as a kill confirm, as it only connects over 125%. Focus on spacing back airs, catching landings with dash attack, and controlling Luma when possible. Like Falco, we can edgeguard him by using Luma or Starbits to interrupt his recovery move, then attack the resulting up special. Ganondorf, +2. He's tall, slow, and doesn't have a projectile. As a result, we can utilize all of Luma's gimmicks, camp him with Starbits, and pressure him with short hop nairs. If he ever catches you with his side special, remember you can guarantee a desync sweet spot Luma up tilt, or a rapid jab that will link into a get up attack. In addition, Rosa can abuse his poor recovery off stage by challenging it with any aerial, or by dropping Luma below the ledge to edgeguard. Greninja, -1. He can be hard to hit in neutral and excels at keeping us in disadvantage. Keep in mind that he's too short to be hit by a short hop nair, making it a more situational option. You can use Luma to dash straight through uncharged shurikens near the ground, but if he charges them, you should jump over them instead of using gravitational pull to not give him a frame advantage. An aggressive Daknair won't connect the 2 hits unless Greninja is over 98%, making it often only useful as a kill confirm. Because Greninja doesn't have a hitbox on his recovery, you can drop Luma off stage, which makes it difficult for him to get the right angle to both dodge Luma and grab the ledge. Many players will often recover straight into Rosalina's attack. Hero, -1. Although we can use gravitational pull on most of his mid to far range command spells, Zapple destroys Luma in neutral despite shielding, rolling, or spot dodging. And if Hero uses this while landing, it's often best to full hop as it's difficult for your opponent to react. In neutral, keep Luma tethered and dash toward Hero whenever safely possible. Try to stay close enough to him so he won't have enough time to safely use his command menu. Once you find an opening, play aggressively with attack cancels, lunar landings, and grabs. Because he doesn't have a hitbox on his recovery, when he's off stage you can drop Luma below the ledge to edgeguard. Ice Climbers, +1. It's hard for either character to approach in neutral, as Blizzard can wall us out and do a ton of damage to Luma. However, Starbits can return their icicles and stuff approaches with side special, giving Rosa the neutral advantage. Just be mindful that if you miss with Starbits, they can jump over them and get in with a side special. If they ever initiate with a side special in neutral, you can dash back and B-reverse Luma shot to hit them out of it. And if Luma's ever right next to one or both of the Ice Climbers, canceling an up tilt into a nair is a great tool to quickly separate them. Keep in mind that they're too short to be hit by a short hop nair. When you get them off stage, you can either down air them or position Luma to drop down and hit them before or after the hitbox on their up special comes out. Ike, -1. He can safely pressure our shield with any of his aerials, which can create opportunities to damage or kill Luma. I'd recommend staying mobile on the ground and playing a defensive bait and punish style, while harassing with Starbits whenever safely possible. When he's off stage, focus on catching his double jump, then get in position to either hit his quick draw with the rising fair, or if he recovers low, hit the peak of his up special right before the spinning hitbox comes out. Incineroar, +2. Like Ganondorf, he's slow, big, and doesn't have a projectile, making it easy to camp him with Starbits, utilize all of Luma's gimmicks in neutral, and pressure him with short hop nairs. In addition, Rosa can zone him out safely with back airs and lunar landings. Keep in mind that while Luma's detethered, you can't always punish his landings because all of Luma's attacks will only clank with his nair. If he ever uses revenge, try to look for an opening to lunar land with back air. This way you can link it into a grab and end the effect. When he's far off stage, get in position to punish his side special, but when he's near the ledge, don't challenge his up special and instead focus on ledge trapping, 2-framing, or punishing a recovery onto the stage. Inkling, even. Although Inkling is fast and hard to hit in neutral due to their dash animation, they aren't great at dealing with Luma in neutral and can be zoned out by back airs. Also, splat bombs aren't very effective as they're easy to react to with gravitational pull. If you ever get buried by the roller, remember you can desync a Luma tilt or rapid jab. If you're ever off stage against Inkling, try to hold onto your double jump as they can edgeguard pretty effectively. However, they don't have a hitbox on the rising part of their recovery, so when they're off stage, you can drop Luma below the ledge to edgeguard. Isabelle, +1. While crawling in neutral, you can't be hit with the rising forward or back air. Plus, it's really difficult for her to hit us on her way down, as the projectile often goes over Rosa's head or gets blocked by Luma. You can also do this just as well with Luma detethered and can clank with the projectile when necessary. If she hits the bottom of your shield with nair, don't always try to punish it as it's safe when timed properly. If she places a mine, you can destroy it in one hit with a tethered forward tilt. If she uses her fishing rod in neutral, shield it and immediately short hop toward her and try to punish her with either the late hit of Nair or a lunar landed Nair. When you're off stage, she'll often try to use her fishing rod to try and cut off your up special. To prevent this, save your double jump and wait for the bobber to fall straight below the ledge before you recover at an angle. And because she doesn't have a hitbox on her recovery, you can drop Luma off stage to edgeguard. Jigglypuff, +1. We can outrange her aerials in neutral and can force her to jump extra high by utilizing Luma and Starbits. You can often catch her jumping over Luma with the rising Luma up air, but keep in mind that Jigglypuff's Nair can clank with any of Luma's attacks, keeping her safe. In general, your back air can challenge hers, and backside Nair can hit her at a diagonal angle. Keep in mind that Jigglypuff is too short to be hit by a short hop Nair. If you ever fall asleep from Sing, remember you can desync a tilt or jab with Luma. If Jigglypuff ever uses rollout, the best way to punish is to simply charge a forward smash. When she bumps into Luma, Rosa can guarantee the hit. Joker, even. We can deal with his neutral fairly well, but things get much harder when he has Arsene. Stay mobile and avoid being in shield against his aerials as they can damage Luma while being safe on shield. When played properly, Joker can have trouble dealing with Luma in neutral as his gun interrupts Luma but without any hit stun, allowing Luma to use Starbits immediately after being hit. Also, Luma isn't affected by Aha's damage over time effect, meaning it only deals slightly over 3% and applies a small amount of knockback. If possible, cancel an up tilt into Nair and try and clank with it, or at least jump over it. When he gets Arsene, keep Luma tethered, slow down the pace of the match, and put more focus on playing safe. Always be ready to use a turnaround gravitational pull against Aegon, and always expect him to use it when he's not too far off stage. When he needs to recover from below the ledge, you can drop Luma off stage regardless of whether he has Arsene or not. And if you ever get hit off stage while he has Arsene, wait for him to use an attack before getting up from the ledge to potentially waste some time. Ken and Ryu, +1. We have a considerable neutral advantage, but they can deal a ton of damage if they find an opening. Try to play keep away with attack cancels and Luma shot to build up damage while keeping Rosa safe. They can have trouble dealing with Starbits in neutral as it forces them to jump where they're more vulnerable, but keep in mind that their Nair can clank with any of Luma's attacks. Also keep in mind that Luma can down tilt or dash attack to clank with a Hadouken. Because they don't have disjoints, you can wall them out with back airs with relative ease. And if they ever use a side special to approach, you can beat it with a quick B reverse Luma shot. If you get them off stage, try to edgeguard them with a well-timed fair or down air. King Dedede, +1. He's a huge target and can have trouble approaching us in neutral. In general, you can wall him out with either a detethered Luma, Rosa's back air, or you can get aggressive with Nairs and Dak Nairs. Just keep in mind that his Nair will clank with any Luma attack, potentially putting Luma at risk. If he ever hits a Gordo at you, know that you can hit it back with any Rosalina or Luma attack other than Rosalina's fair, but the most effective tool at hitting it back is Starbits, as its range makes the Gordo often unable to be shielded in time. Many Dededes like to jump above you and attack with fast fall aerials. To prevent overextending while he jumps above you, focus on making sure that he doesn't have a safe place to land, as he can't challenge Rosa's up tilt or up smash while directly above you. When off stage, if Dedede uses up B and isn't going straight for the ledge, try to quickly use an aerial at the peak of where his super jump will be. Otherwise, you can wait and use specifically up air to beat it on the way down. King K. Rool, +2. We can easily navigate neutral as gravitational pull renders his projectiles useless, and we can generally outrange and outspeed him. We also have an extra strong punish game since K. Rool is such a big and heavy target. In neutral, you can space back airs, use attack cancels, or play with Luma detethered, but always be ready to use gravitational pull if he uses his side special. When you steal his crown, keep Luma detethered and hold on to it so you can easily punish him for hitting Luma. If he ever grabs you and goes for a down throw, remember Luma can desync a tilt or a jab. If he's ever above you, instead of jumping straight at him with an attack, try to fast fall as you attack him to avoid being hit if he armors through it. If he's ever off stage, there are two strong ways to edgeguard him. One being to get below him and double jump fair, and the other is to position a Luma shot under the ledge when he recovers low. Kirby, +1. Kirby is too short to be hit with a short hop Nair, and his Nair can clank with any of Luma's attacks. As a result, you should keep Luma tethered and focus on walling him out with bears and harassing him with Starbits whenever possible. If he dash attacks your shield, you have time to punish him with a dash grab even if he crosses you up, but respect forward and back air on shield as he can drift back to stay safe. If he ever uses an up special while on stage, quickly jump and try to punish him with either the late hit of Nair or a lunar landing. When you're hit off stage, make sure you save your double jump to defend yourself against a potential down air. Link, -1. Neutral is tough as he can camp us really effectively, so try to stay at mid to close range at all times. You should keep Luma tethered in neutral due to his projectiles and disjoints, and focus on positioning yourself while jumping over projectiles and facing away from Link. This way you can look for openings with either Bair, Nair, or a short range Luma shot. From a distance, you should use gravitational pull against his boomerang and arrows, but at close range, you can dash straight through an arrow if Luma is tethered, but you should still jump against a boomerang. Also, keep in mind that it's much easier to clank with the boomerang when it's on its way back. Note that you should never use gravitational pull against his bomb unless he throws it at a very close distance, as he can detonate it while it's being pulled in. If you do get the bomb, either toss it behind you or off stage. If he's above you, you don't need to respect his down air as you can outrange it specifically with Rosa's up air. If he stands in place or crouches, his shield can block Luma shot, but it leaves some small openings to be hit by starbits. Off stage, you should rush toward him and quickly fast fall into position to double jump forward air, or down air if he's below the ledge. Little Mac, +2. He doesn't have a consistent answer to Luma in neutral and can be easily camped by leaving Luma detethered and abusing starbits. This forces him to jump where he's really weak. If he's in the air, use any attack you can to prevent him from landing or grab him the moment he does. If you're on a stage with platforms, camping on the top platform can be really difficult for him to deal with safely, and you can still utilize Luma if you're good at positioning Luma with Dak Nair Dash. If you can get him off stage, be ready to challenge his side special to get the kill. Lucario, +1. He doesn't have enough range to get in, so he can be outspaced by back air. He can also have trouble dealing with Luma due to his range and the fact that Luma can clank with his Aura Sphere despite it being fully charged. While Luma is tethered, you can actually dash straight through Aura Spheres, which can guarantee you a grab if you're close enough. If he has max Aura, neutral changes a bit as you can't clank with a charged Aura Sphere, and his side special can easily hit Luma despite shielding or dodging. To avoid this, you need to full hop or dash away right before it hits. Because Lucario doesn't have a hitbox on his up special, you can drop Luma off stage to edgeguard. Lucas, even. Luma doesn't have a way to defend itself against his PK Fire, so you should keep it tethered in neutral. If you use his PK Fire around mid-range, you can either jump over it, shield it, or short hop turnaround gravitational pull to get rid of it while still being able to lunar land with back air. His disjoints aren't very big, so he can struggle when trying to challenge Rosa's back air. Keep in mind that starbits count as physical projectiles and can't be absorbed by his down special. When he's off stage, try to cut off his double jump with an aerial or starbits to force him to use PK Thunder. Once he does, you can gimp him by stealing it with gravitational pull. Lucina and Marth, even. Their attacks come out a bit faster than ours, except they have the burden of having to approach due to starbits. Because they have to approach, you should be patient and play a bait and punish style by staying mobile and putting extra focus on spacing. Stay grounded and carefully pick your spots with Dak Nairs, dash attacks, and grabs. Also, avoid shielding many of their attacks as they'll still hit Luma and often be spaced well enough to not be punished. Luigi, +2. In neutral, Luigi doesn't have many tools to approach and can't easily get past the detethered Luma. Also, he can't combo Rosalina as well as other characters due to her floatiness. If Luma's tethered, you can punish him for using fireballs by dashing straight through them. If Luma's detethered, down tilt and dash attack can each clank with his fireballs, but be aware that he can clank with all of Luma's attacks by landing with a Nair. When he's far off stage, he's vulnerable to being edge guarded as his side special is fairly predictable and loses to a forward air. Mario, even. He has a strong punish game, but he can't easily get in. Both Lunar Landed Bear and Dak Nair clank with Mario's fireballs while also potentially hitting him. You can also use a short hop turnaround gravitational pull to get rid of fireballs while still being able to Lunar Land with Bear. Right after hitting a fireball with a Lunar Landed Bear, remember you can cancel Luma's end lag into either Starbits or Luma Shot. Luma can also play detethered by down tilting or Dak Nair dashing through fireballs while harassing with Starbits. Just make sure you keep Rosa nearby as his down air can beat Luma's tilts while his Nair can clank with smash attacks. If you're off stage, save your double jump to contest any edge guards or potential cape gimps. Dr. Mario, +1. This matchup plays very similarly to Mario, except he can be outpaced by our speed and neutral, giving us an edge, and although he hits harder than Mario, he can't combo as well. Mega Man, -1. This matchup has a very tedious neutral which puts us at a disadvantage. His pellets can interrupt Luma Shot despite how long it was charged for, and his side special instantly explodes when it collides with Luma, making it risky to shield or have Luma detethered. The only ways to deal with this move are to jump over it or retreat while using gravitational pull. In general, be aggressive and keep Luma tethered at almost all times in neutral. Only commit to dashing when far away. When close, rely on either walking or jumping. Approaching with the late hit of Nair can be strong against Mega Man because he can't cover diagonally above him very well and doesn't have a reliable out of shield option to deal with an up tilt follow-up. If he ever charges a forward smash while Luma is tethered, you can dash straight through it, allowing you to punish. When off stage, be cautious of his down air. To avoid it, you can delay your recovery, use gravitational pull, or clank with up air. Likewise, gravitational pull also works against his up air. Because his up special doesn't have a hitbox, you can drop Luma off stage to edgeguard. Meta Knight, +1. He's decent at dealing with Luma while detethered due to his 4 aerial jumps and Nair, which can clank with Luma's attacks, but he can't easily get in on Rosa or get past Starbits. Try to zone with Starbits while Luma's recalling or returning after a DAC Nair. This forces him in the air where we can focus on hitting him with aerials or catching his landing. But be careful with using Starbits too carelessly when he's in the air, as he can travel horizontally very quickly with neutral special. Keep in mind that he's too short to be hit by a short hop Nair, and his dash attack is safe on our shield if he crosses us up. Mewtwo, +1. You can focus on adapting to your opponent mid-match as we have the flexibility to win this matchup in a bunch of different ways. Just make sure to keep Luma tethered when Mewtwo has a charged Shadow Ball ready. When he uses a Shadow Ball, you can either short hop turnaround gravitational pull to keep Luma safe, or dash straight through it using Luma as a shield. Note that his disable can't affect Rosa while Luma's tethered. Instead of edge guarding, it's often best to focus on 2-framing, setting up for a ledge trap, or baiting an early teleport onto stage. Mr. Game & Watch, even. Rosa's generally faster and has more range, with the exception of his back air. Back air can essentially tear through any of our attacks and is safe when he drifts after a full hop. This means it's important to pay attention to which way he's facing, as you don't really need to respect his forward air, as the bomb can be destroyed by a single Starbit. Also, when he's above you, you don't need to respect his down air, as specifically Rosa's up air can outrange it. Luma can be pretty effective at zoning while detethered, but you'll need to either DAC Nair Dash away or recall if you anticipate him jumping in with a back air. Keep in mind that he's too short to be hit by a short hop Nair. Try to avoid landing with a late Nair on his shield, as he can up special out of shield before Luma's up tilt can hit. If he's ever trying to juggle you with up airs, remember that you can get rid of them with gravitational pull. If he's below the ledge, don't try to challenge the hitbox on his up special. Instead, just set up for a ledge trap. Ness, even. Luma doesn't have a way to defend itself against his forward air or PK fire, so you should keep it tethered and neutral. If he uses an aerial PK fire and you aren't able to dash out of the way in time, you should shield it instead of committing to a gravitational pull. His forward air can be good at catching a poorly spaced attack, but you can outrange it more consistently by retreating as you use back air. His back air is safe on shield when timed properly, and his forward air can be safe if he short hops and drifts back. Keep in mind that Starbits count as a physical attack and can't be absorbed by his down special. When he's off stage, try to cut off his double jump with an aerial or Starbits to force him to use PK Thunder. Once he does, you can gimp him by stealing it with gravitational pull. Olimar, -1. This matchup is complicated. In neutral, it's a good idea to play with Luma detethered, as both Luma Shot and Starbits can hit tossed Pikmin. While detethered, keep in mind that all of Luma's attacks have the potential to clank with his forward smash, making DAC Nair Dash and tilt cancels both relatively safe options for Luma. When zoning with Starbits, it's likely that Olimar will lob some Pikmin over Luma, which may latch onto you. If they do, try to either reposition Luma with a DAC Nair or attack with a tilt cancel Nair. This way you can knock Pikmin off of you while controlling Luma at the same time. Also, remember that you can shield a latched Pikmin's attack before hitting it to prevent taking any damage. While a Pikmin is in mid-toss, gravitational pull completely removes them from the game, effectively killing them. This also works against his smash attacks, but is often too risky to use up close. Also, trying to lunar land in neutral can be risky, as Rosa won't be safe from forward smash. However, if you clank with his attack, you often have just enough time to get invincibility from your throw before the Pikmin's hitbox is active again. Keep in mind that Olimar is too short to be hit by a short hop Nair. Your goal should almost always be to get him off stage where you can edge guard him with a forward air or drop Luma below the ledge. Pac-Man, +1. Gravitational Pull pretty much shuts down his neutral game plan. You can easily steal his item and hold it indefinitely while harassing with Luma Shot and Star Bits, but note that it can't be caught again after it's been Z-dropped. Also, Gravitational Pull can shut down any of his Hydrant shenanigans. We can outspace him pretty easily in neutral with aerials and can make good use of Luma while detethered. Keep in mind that either his Fair or Nair can be safe on shield if used low to the ground, but his Rising Fair can always be punished. Also, his dash attack is safe on our shield unless you're able to parry the 4th hit. When he's off stage, if he's close enough to up special to the ledge in one bounce, then you should either down air or set up for a ledge trap. Although if he's farther off stage, it could be a good idea to shoot Luma a little past the ledge to punish a side special with a forward smash. If he's farther off stage and needs to use more than one bounce on his trampoline, you can intercept him with a well-spaced forward or back air. Palutena, -1. She has a decent advantage over us in neutral due to her zoning tools. When at a distance, you should always keep Luma tethered and avoid shielding, as Explosive Flame will still hit Luma. Also, this move isn't affected by Gravitational Pull, making a full hop the preferred option, especially because it's effective against both Explosive Flame and Auto Reticle when timed properly. When at mid-range, look for a safe opening with Nair or even Luma Shot, as a detethered Luma can still be useful at close range by acting as bait. Try to avoid landing near Palutena, as you could be caught by her invincible dash attack. Additionally, when you're at low percentages, you need to be ready to shield and punish her short hop Nairs, as they can guarantee her a ton of free damage. But it's important to note that her Nair can be safe on shield if she lands behind you. If you start getting comboed, try to DI off stage and save your double jump, as it can be much harder to land when above her. When she's off stage, don't jump out too far to edgeguard her. Instead, focus on 2-framing, setting up for a ledge trap, or baiting her to use warp early onto the stage. Peach and Daisy, even. In this matchup, we have the advantage in neutral, but once they find an opening, they could deal a ton of damage with float-cancelled aerials that are all safe on shield. Because they're the ones who need to approach, a good strategy is to play patient, wait for openings, and stay safe by using attack cancels when they get close. In neutral, I'd suggest focusing on Luma's positioning and how you can influence their movement options with Star Bits. Keep in mind that Luma's tilts can potentially clank with any of their attacks other than down air, making it relatively safe for Luma to attack. Because the potential threat of down air, if you see them floating to get over Luma, either make Luma retreat to safety or jump so it can defend itself. Their side special can allow them to hit Luma without the threat of being punished by Rosa. However, any of Luma's attacks can beat this move if timed properly, with down tilt being the easiest to land. If you aren't able to use an attack in time, remember that jumping is your next best option, as their side special is safe on shield and hits Luma for free. However, if you manage to parry it, you can guarantee an up smash. Make sure to save your double jump when off stage to potentially clank with a float down air near ledge. When they're off stage, threaten their high recovery to force them to go low where they have fewer options. Pikachu and Pichu, -2. This is a tough matchup due to their small size, speed, multi-hits, and Thunder Jolts. Thunder Jolt forces you to jump, as shielding could get you grabbed. You can either short hop and use a turnaround Gravitational Pull, or jump over them altogether. Because you can clank with Thunder Jolts, Lunar Landing with back air and using attack cancels are also situationally useful for dealing with them. But you need to pay close attention to your timing so that it doesn't bounce over Luma. In neutral, you want to keep Luma tethered and stay offensive, as their multi-hits beat Luma's attacks. Try to find openings with back airs, grabs, and Nairs, but keep in mind that an aggressive Nair is much more useful against Pikachu, as he only needs to be at 15% for an aggressive Nair to start comboing, when Pichu needs to be at least 118%. Also keep in mind that both characters are too short to be hit with a short hop Nair. When your opponent is off stage, you should stay near the ledge to cover any high recoveries, and if they drop below the ledge, try to 2-frame them or set up a ledge trap. Piranha Plant, +1. It could be tough for either character to approach in this matchup, but we can find openings when he uses Pitsui too close and can instigate with Star Bits. If Luma's ever detethered in neutral, make sure you're close enough to protect it with Gravitational Pull. Piranha Plant's down special doesn't stop to target Luma, so it needs to be spaced precisely to land. It can be extra difficult for him to land if you Nair to throw off his timing. If he ever Pitui's from afar, jump over it or use Gravitational Pull. If he Pitui's up close, dash in and grab him before he has the time to launch the Spike Ball, and be ready to quickly throw him to get your throw invincibility for the falling Spike Ball. Also, you can use Gravitational Pull to get rid of his Poison Cloud, but only if you aren't inside of it. If you get Piranha Plant off stage, keep the pressure up and try to hit him with Luma's down air, as he'll likely survive Rosa's down air until higher percentages. Pit and Dark Pit, even. We have the tools to mitigate each other's projectiles, and the range on Pit's Fair is about the same as Rosalina's Bear, except his is slightly slower. We can't get too much use out of Luma in neutral as he can just reflect star bits and can cut through Luma's tilts with Nair. To deal with his arrows, try not to use gravitational pull too often as it'll give him a frame advantage. Instead, stay grounded and shield or parry any arrows while dashing toward him. Also, keep in mind that if he ever uses an aerial side special, shielding it can guarantee you an aerial. Rosalina's main advantage in this matchup is while edge guarding, as Pit's recovery is predictable and you can drop Luma off stage to cut him off. Pokemon Trainer. It's hard to say considering this is essentially 3 matchups, but overall it feels pretty even. Although he can combo us at low percentages, Squirtle can have trouble dealing with Starbits, Nair, and our disjoints in neutral. If you're playing detethered, his side special is really effective at hitting Luma, but if you time an up tilt cancelled Nair, Luma can dodge the attack and Rosa can punish him. His side special is safe on our shield, but Luma can block the hit if you're dashing or crouching, which can guarantee you a smash attack or a grab. This also works if you're standing in place, but it's inconsistent due to Luma's subtle movements. Keep in mind that he's too short to be hit by a short hop Nair. When he's off stage, try to position yourself over him to spike him with a down air. If he switches to Ivysaur, keep in mind that Luma can clank with his Razor Leaf, but he can beat Luma's tilts with Nair. Razor Leaf has slightly more end lag than Gravitational Pull, and it can be clanked with, making short hop turnaround Gravitational Pull a strong defensive option. When you're off stage, always save your double jump. If Ivysaur isn't in a position to spike you or attack preemptively, quickly up special to the ledge. Otherwise, stay relatively close to the ledge for when you do use your up special, as it's too quick to react to when close by. If Ivysaur is off stage, you can either drop Luma below the ledge to edgeguard with a rapid jab, or you can cut him off with an aerial. Keeping Luma detethered in neutral can be extra effective against Charizard, as he doesn't have a reliable way to get past Luma without getting punished by Rosa. If he uses Flamethrower against Rosa, you can keep Rosa and Luma safe by using Gravitational Pull and buffering a jump or short hop aerial to punish. Charizard's Flare Blitz can collide with Luma, meaning you can throw Luma off stage to cut off his horizontal recovery. Simon and Richter, -2. Due to their projectiles and whip range, neutral can be very tough for us. Avoid using Starbits or Luma Shot while they're on the ground, as their projectiles can easily hit both Rosa and Luma. Lunar Landing can be risky due to their forward tilt, so try to stay grounded and shield or parry their attacks and projectiles when possible until you find an opening with Nair or grab. Once you're in advantage state, stay aggressive and try to get them off stage. If they use Holy Water, steal it with Gravitational Pull and save it for an opening. It has relatively short range, but can lead to strong punishes. If they ever hit your shield with a dash attack or the second hit of down tilt, know that you can punish them with a dash grab out of shield. If you get them off stage and they aren't close enough to use their up special, use an aerial in between them and the ledge to cut off their tether recovery. Otherwise, position yourself to down air their up special. Ridley, even. We can't leave Luma detethered and neutral due to his neutral special, but Rosa can be completely safe from it with a well-timed Gravitational Pull. In general, avoid being diagonally below him, as his neutral air can outrange our forward air if timed properly. If he ever hits you with a side special, you'll be thrown off stage for him to edgeguard and Luma will get knocked up in the air. If he focuses on ledge trapping, you can wait to utilize Luma and disrupt him, but if he jumps off stage to edgeguard, you'll either need to recover below him and defend yourself with an up air, or recover above him and defend yourself with a desynced Luma aerial. When Ridley is off stage, challenge his up special with either Rosa's forward air or down air. R.O.B, +1. We can control neutral by negating his laser and stealing his gyro with Gravitational Pull. If you steal his gyro, you should focus on using Luma Shot and Starbits in neutral, as he doesn't have a reliable way to approach without it. You can also use aerials while holding the gyro by inputting them right after you Z-drop it. If you Z-drop the gyro, then hit your opponent with the late hit of Nair, you can often combo another Z-drop into an aerial such as down air. Keep in mind that simply throwing the gyro up is also a good option, as it keeps it out of play for a while, it can hit him on the way down, and it can easily be caught again. Also, you can pick the gyro back up by lunar landing next to it. Be cautious of R.O.B's landing Nair. It's very predictable, but if spaced well, it can be safe on shield and potentially hit Luma. When you're hit off stage, save your double jump and be very cautious of his edge guards with side special, as it can kill you at very low percentages. In response, you may have to recover high or go extra low. When you're off stage, save your double jump so you can whiff punish him for trying to spike you with down air. As you grab the ledge, if he ever bounces the gyro by throwing it down, quickly drop ledge and double jump to the stage with either a Nair or an air dodge. If he's off stage, remember that his up special doesn't have a hitbox, so you can drop Luma below the ledge to edgeguard, but be mindful that he can cut off his up special temporarily to attack Luma. Robin, even. Their projectiles can make neutral seem tough, but we have the tools we need to deal with them. Hopping while facing away can be effective for spacing back airs, as well as lunar landing, which can be used after a gravitational pull. If you lunar land with back air around mid-range, you can dash toward Robin knowing that Luma will block Thunder or L-Thunder. Luma can actually clank with these projectiles or even Levin Sword attacks. However, Luma should always be tethered if they charge neutral special past L-Thunder, as Luma doesn't have a way to defend itself against Arc Thunder or Thoron. Whenever Robin uses Thoron, jump over it if possible and use gravitational pull after it passes you. This will put a hitbox around the entire stage. If you get Robin off stage, remember that the hitbox on their up special hits below them, so you can drop Luma below the ledge to edgeguard. Roy, -1. His attacks come out a bit faster than ours and can all be safe on shield. However, he needs to approach us due to star bits. And because he's the one who has to approach, you should be patient and play a bait and punish style by staying mobile and putting extra focus on staying right outside of his range. A common approach for him is to jump in with a forward air, and if that's shielded, follow up with a jab, which often pushes you too far away to grab out of shield. However, unless his jab only hits the edge of your shield, you can still punish him with an up smash. Also, if Roy is off stage, you can angle a Luma forward smash downward to challenge his up special regardless of what angle he chooses. Samus and Dark Samus, even. If your opponent decides to camp with projectiles, the game may be tedious and take a long time, but if you're patient and read when they're going to use a projectile, you can dash in after using a lunar landed bear for Luma to block it. The only projectile that you can safely dash through without lunar landing is the strong missile. However, walking will still work consistently against them all. To deal with projectiles at farther ranges, you should use a short hop turnaround gravitational pull so you can lunar land to dash through any follow-up projectiles. While Luma is detethered, you can actually clank with either type of missile, but not the charge shot, so always keep Luma tethered when a charge shot is ready. In neutral, try to avoid approaching in the air as Samus's forward air can stuff our approaches really well. And when landing with the late hit of Nair, try not to land too close to Samus, otherwise you can be hit by up B out of shield. Sheik, even. She's fast and good at punishing our whiffs, but can't challenge our disjoints very well in neutral. Because of this, you should play patiently in neutral and focus on safely poking with Luma Shot, Star Bits, and back air. Try to keep Luma close by when detethered, as Sheik's Nair can clank with any of Luma's attacks, and Needles can damage both Rosa and Luma. If she ever uses her grenade, remember you can catch it with gravitational pull and throw it back to deal about 10%. Keep in mind that an aggressive DAC Nair will only combo when Sheik is over 68%. If you get Sheik far off stage, jump out and edgeguard her with aerials. However, if she's within her up special range, focus on 2-framing or setting up for a ledge trap. Shulk, -1. Between his bear, nair, and fair, he has too much range for us to safely approach, jump, or keep Luma detethered. Shielding is also a poor option as he can safely damage or kill Luma by spacing his attacks or landing low to the ground with a nair or fair. And keep in mind that if he has Buster Art active, his attacks have a few extra frames of shield stun, making them even safer. However, this matchup can be manageable if you stay mobile around mid-range and play a reactionary bait and punish style while occasionally instigating with Starbits. When you find an opening, try to stay very close to him. If he doesn't have shield art, you can keep him at disadvantage due to his attacks having a lot of startup lag. If you get him far off stage, try to catch his double jump after he switches to jump art, as his horizontal recovery will be significantly worse without it. If he's below the ledge, try to get directly above him to down air him as he air slashes. Snake, +1. Gravitational pull gives us control over his grenades, which in turn gives us control over neutral. Keep in mind that a grenade explodes after 2 seconds, but after being affected by gravitational pull, the timer gets extended by slightly over a second. Gravitational pull also helps us when recovering off stage, as we can get rid of his Nikita or up smash. In neutral, I'd suggest leaving Luma detethered. This position can be really tough for Snake to deal with because he can't easily hit Luma and his projectiles can be dodged or used against him. Additionally, he doesn't like approaching from the air and Starbits can cut out his grounded options. One situation to avoid in this matchup is landing near Snake. His dash attack is really good at catching us right before we land, so it might be best to jump or air dodge in these spots. However, if you have enough space to use it, a lunar landed back air can clank with his dash attack. If he crosses you up with dash attack, you can still punish him by dropping shield and buffering a dash grab. If you're ever grabbed and being laid down by a down throw, you can buffer a roll and at least 3 frames after you take the throw damage, input a desync Luma attack to hit him or trap him in shield. When edgeguarding Snake, always face away from him as his up special has armor that makes him immune to forward airs knockback, but not back airs. You can also drop Luma off stage to edgeguard with an attack other than Rapid Jab. Sonic, +1. Although he's tough to pin down, it's also hard for him to find a safe opening to approach us. His spin attacks lose to a well-spaced forward or down tilt with Luma, regardless of how charged his move is, and if you cancel it into a Nair, Rosa's Nair can cover a last-second jump as well. If you're tilted at close range, they'll clank with his attack instead, but this can actually guarantee a late Nair from Rosa for a stronger punish. And this also works with Dak Nair, as Luma's hitbox will always guarantee you a late Nair with Rosa. While Luma's tethered, try not to be too aggressive with Starbits in neutral, as his homing attack can be good at whiff punishing it. To play offensively, you should mix up approaches between back air, Dak Nair, and Luma shot. If he ever uses his homing attack, shield it and punish him out of shields with either an aerial or Luma's up smash. Keep in mind that his Nair can be safe on shield when used low to the ground. When he's off stage and below the ledge, remember you can drop Luma off stage to edgeguard. Terry, even. We have an advantage in neutral, but he can deal tons of damage when he finds an opening and can kill us fairly early. He can have trouble dealing with well-spaced back airs in neutral as they outrange him, interrupt either of his side specials, and can clank with Power Wave. While Luma is tethered, you can dash straight through a Power Wave to punish him. You can also utilize Luma while detethered, but stay close by and be ready to react to what he does. If he uses Power Wave, you can down tilt or Dak Nair dash to clank with it. And if he uses Crack Shoot, a well-timed up tilt cancelled Nair can often beat or trade with him. If you ever shield Crack Shoot, keep in mind that you can punish him with either a dash grab or Nair out of shield, but only if you drift directly over his head. Toon Link, -1. He is the advantage in neutral as he's fast and can camp us with projectiles. I'd suggest keeping Luma tethered in neutral and patiently moving toward him until you can find an opening. When on the ground, I suggest shielding or parrying his boomerang and arrows. Otherwise, gravitational pull can work well against any of his projectiles. Just try to use it as early as possible. If his boomerang is on its way back, it can sometimes be safer to clank with it rather than shield. Keep in mind that his Nair and Bear are both safe on shield when timed properly. When he's above you, you don't need to respect his down air as specifically Rose's up air can beat it. If he stands in place or crouches, his shield can block Luma shot, but it still leaves some small openings to be hit by Starbits. If he's off stage, dash over to him and quickly fast fall into position to forward air or time a down air if he's already below the ledge. Villager, even. Their Slingshot and Lloyd Rocket can be annoying for us in neutral, but keep in mind that while you're crawling, you can't be hit with a rising forward air or back air, plus it's difficult for them to time it properly as they land. It'll often go over Rose's head or be blocked by Luma. You can also do this while Luma is detethered, and remember that both Luma's down tilt and dash attack can clank with their projectiles. If you're close by, look for an opening to approach with either a Dak Nair or Lunar Landed back air to block their projectile. And once you're in advantage state, stay aggressive as they aren't great at dealing with our pressure. If you're off stage, remember you can gravitational pull their bowling ball, tree, or slingshot. If they're off stage, remember that their up special doesn't have a hitbox, so if they're below the ledge, you can drop Luma to edgeguard. Wario, -1. Although he technically needs to approach us, he's good at dealing with Luma and his aerial drift speed makes it hard to hit him and easy for him to punish us. His Nair can beat Luma's attacks regardless of any clanks due to its second hitbox, and because he can drift so quickly, it's safe on our shield while being able to hit Luma. Shielding is extra risky in this matchup due to bite. If he grabs you with this, make sure to mash and look for an opportunity to hit him with a Luma aerial right after. In neutral, you need to avoid overcommitting to getting a hit and focus on your positioning while staying on the ground. Either harass him with Dak Nair into Starbits, or defensively back air by drifting away. If you want to use Dak Nair aggressively, remember that it'll only combo if he's over 31%. When he has a waft fully charged, play keep away by drifting back with tilt cancelled Nairs and try to avoid being hit by a landing aerial that can confirm into a killing waft. When you're off stage, save your double jump to potentially challenge an edgeguard with down air. Wii Fit Trainer, +1. In general, she can be outspaced by back air and neutral, and she can't use her projectiles effectively. Having Luma detethered in neutral can be a strong option as Starbits can return the soccer ball and Luma's attacks can clank with partially charged sun salutations, but you should recall Luma once she fully charges it. While Luma is tethered, you can lunar land with back air to dash through a sun salutation and punish. Luma will also block these while you walk or crawl, but not consistently when dashing. When at the ledge, if you notice your opponent often dropping ledge and going for side specials, you can preemptively jump and get a free down air. Remember that during her up special, her hitbox is near her body, so if she's below the ledge, you can drop Luma to edgeguard with an attack other than Rapid Jab. Wolf, -1. He's good at dealing with Luma in neutral and has good frame data and disjoints to challenge our attacks. Interestingly, if Luma is tethered, Wolf can't cross up your shield with dash attack. However, if you don't have Luma tethered, keep in mind that crossing you up is safe from any punish. In neutral, try to keep Luma tethered. Lasers can do tons of free damage to Luma, and his Nair can clank with any of Luma's attacks. I'd suggest short hopping over lasers while facing away from Wolf. If you can lunar land with back air as he shoots a blaster, you can dash through it to punish him. You can also punish him for using blaster by walking, crawling, or standing at a close distance. When he's off stage, his side special is hard to react to, but you can cut it off more consistently with a lingering hitbox such as Nair, Fair, or even Starbits, which can lead into Fair. Yoshi, -1. From my experience, this matchup can be tough due to his insane airspeed, which makes it hard to punish him and easy for him to approach. He can easily escape our combos with his double jump armor and doesn't have many problems dealing with Luma in neutral due to his eggs and Nair, so it's often a good idea to keep Luma tethered. Try to avoid shielding his eggs as they'll still hit Luma. Instead, move around them, or if you aren't able to in time, use gravitational pull. Try to avoid landing with the late hit of Nair, as it isn't safe against his Nair out of shield. Remember that if he ever catches you with his neutral special, Luma can still desync attacks while you're egged. When you're off stage, get to the ledge quickly so you don't have to worry about his forward air, as it's good at catching Rosa's up special. When he's off stage, take note of his damage. If he is less than 15%, don't jump off stage, as nothing will beat his double jump armor. Just wait by the ledge and attack him when he lands, or after he uses an attack. If he is over 15%, the only aerial that can beat his armor is Luma's down air. Often, it'll end his momentum and double jump armor, then Rosa's down air will spike him. However, keep in mind that Rosa's down air alone cannot phase his armor until extremely high percentages. If he has over 85%, back air will end his momentum and armor, but won't apply any knockback until he's over 111%. Young Link, -1. He has the advantage in neutral as he's fast and can camp us with projectiles. I'd suggest keeping Luma tethered and patiently moving toward him until you can find an opening. When on the ground, I suggest shielding his boomerang and arrows. Otherwise, gravitational pull can work well in the air or against bombs. Just try to use it as early as possible. If his boomerang is on its way back, it can sometimes be better to clank with it rather than shield. Keep in mind that his Nair and Bear are each safe on shield when timed properly. Also, his Nair can clank with any of Luma's attacks. When he's above you, you don't need to respect his down air, as specifically Rosa's up air can outrange it. If he stands in place or crouches, his shield can block Luma shot, but it still leaves some small openings to be hit by Starbits. If he's off stage, rush over to him and quickly fast fall into position to forward air or time a down air if he's already below the ledge. If you're the one off stage, save your double jump and time your up special carefully to avoid potentially being hit by an edge guard with his up special. Zelda, even. This matchup can be tough if you play too aggressively, but is more than manageable if you slow down the pace of neutral and carefully pick your spots to initiate. It's important that you move and jump around her zoning tools, as Din's fire isn't affected by gravitational pull, and both it and her Phantom can hit Luma even if you shield. If Zelda charges Phantom from a distance, don't approach her, just wait for the move to end. However, if she uses it around mid-range, quickly full hop toward her and follow up with an aerial or lunar landing. In neutral, be careful whenever you lunar land with back air, as it could potentially be caught by multi-hit moves like Nehru's Love or Forward Smash. A more reliable approach in this matchup is to use Dak Nair aggressively, and if Zelda ever shields the late hit of your Nair, make sure to preemptively DI away to avoid being hit by her up special out of shield. When Zelda's off stage, it's often best to set up for a ledge trap or bait an early recovery onto the stage, as her up special is difficult to edgeguard. Zero Suit Samus, -1. She's very fast and can safely poke our shield while hitting Luma with aerials and Plasma Whip. Try to stay mobile and keep Rosa out of her range while being ready to punish her for any whiffs or unsafe approaches. You can instigate an approach by using Starbits and keeping Luma detethered, but you need to be patient and react to what ZSS is doing. If she uses her Plasma Whip or Paralyzer, try to clank them with either Luma's down tilt or dash attack. Also, be ready to shield if she uses Flip Jump from far away. It has about as much range as Starbits, and if you shield it, you can punish with either an aerial or an up smash. If she ever buries you with this, remember you can still input a desync attack with Luma. Keep in mind that our landing Nair can be punished by her up special out of shield, which can kill around 90 to 100%. However, you need to be very close for it to connect, meaning you can space your Nair far enough to avoid being hit. When she's off stage, be ready to punish a flip jump onto the stage, and if she's below the ledge, try to down air or 2-frame her. If you found this video helpful, remember to hit the like and subscribe button, and if you haven't already, you can check out all my Rosalina and Luma guides by clicking here. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.